Lenny, first and foremost, mate, obviously 100 games for your country. It's all been very nice, but now the dust has settled a little bit. Do you look back on the milestone and think, wow, that was really something special?
Yeah, I look back at it in a few ways, mate. I look back at it and think, like, one, I've met some awesome people during them 100 caps. Like, I've played with some incredible players. I've met some incredible people, played against some incredible people. Um, Kind of look back and think, all the work that it's taken to get there and stay there, and keep wanting to go for more. I look back at all the people that have invested time and effort into me, and yeah, there's just so much that you look at and you think, yeah, like everything has an effect on trying to get there. Support from my wife and my family. So I kind of, leading up to it, mate, I kind of didn't want to get drawn into it too much. I did want to be really process driven, which I was. I was very much felt like I had a duty to do in terms of helping the team try and win the Six Nations, and that was my main focus. Well, it was my only focus. And then afterwards, I was then able to actually appreciate what had happened and what I'd done and what I'd achieved. And the boys kind of helped with that as well. The presentations afterwards, the lads getting around, and so yeah, mate, all good.
Did you ever think you'd play 100th game in front of absolutely nobody?
No, mate, I didn't. There was I was running out with Jamie George because it was obviously his 50th as well, and he was coming out behind me, and I said to him originally, I said, mate, like, come on, like, let's walk out together. Like, we've got to walk out side by side. He's like, no, I can't. There's no way I'm walking out side by side. Like, you totally deserve to go out first. And I said, okay, like, fine if I deserve to go out first, but like, there's no one in there, mate. So you just literally leave me on my own. So like, let me go like a shoulder length in front of you, then at least come out together. And he wouldn't. So anyway, he left me to go out first, then he came out. But yeah, it was strange, but that's, do you know what, mate? I'd rather have 100 and no one be there than to have not. So it is what it is.
Obviously, you got, as you say, you didn't really think about the messages or look too much at what people were saying in the build-up. But I want to flip all the niceties on the head, because I know people are probably too nice to you at times. So I want to be a little bit mean. What about the crap you cop? What about the fact that there was this suggestion that you'd fluked 100 tests? Does that stuff eat away at you?
It doesn't eat away at me. I guess I just look at it, I laugh, and I just think, what on earth are people on about? Like, the way it is now, you are open to anyone's opinion, which is slightly concerning at times. But you are, and sometimes people have a strong opinion and they want to voice it and they want to tell you. And, I guess, yes, of course I get complimentary people supporting me, but equally I get people that can be pretty cutting and inappropriately rude, really, at times. And I don't think it's acceptable, no. But you are there, and I don't think it's acceptable, but but you are accessible by being on social media. So yeah, I don't necessarily think it always comes. It's not always good, because people want to tell you that someone else should be doing it. So it is, again, I don't agree with it. I don't particularly like it. If you've got nothing nice to say, don't say it at all, which you often taught as a youngster. But yeah.
You're kind of old enough and ugly enough now, though, aren't you, that actually probably makes the nicer, because you probably just take those that you respect and those you actually want to hear from more on face value.
Well, exactly, mate. I think one thing you learn pretty quickly is the ability to value the people that you value and their opinions. So for me, the most important people that I can get praise from or please is the people that I hold dearest to, and I respect their opinion. And if I was to ever let them down, that would be the biggest dagger to the heart for me. So that won't change, mate. And I know that I've made everyone I respect and everyone that I want to be a part of and represent, I've made them incredibly proud. So for that, that's everything I'll ever want to do, mate.
Obviously, you've got your own new tournament kicking off, but I want to ask you, how does it feel to not be there for what will be the start of a premiership season in a week?
Yeah, that is very different. I think, mate, I've never, touched wood, I think maybe I've missed maybe one start of the season through coming back from injury. other than that, I've always been available for like the first round of the Prem, and to suddenly be the Prem is like 2 weeks away, and given the circumstances in the UK alone, but especially at the club with what's happened in terms of the amount of cases and having to put everyone's safety at first and closing the place down completely, the boys are going to have a matter of couple of days to get prepared for a game, round one. So it is challenging times. It is, and it's I'm here and I can't contribute to helping at the club, and I know that everyone will be doing their utmost to make sure that the place is a safe place to be, and that's paramount ahead of anything else. So I know that the club will always do that, but it's quite daunting to think the boys are playing in only a matter of a week or so.
There's a nice replacement for you, if you will, a nice old head that's joining the club in the 9 spot. How do you feel about that?
Brilliant. Wiggy his game management and control is phenomenal. I'm looking forward to learning off him. Obviously, my experience from Wiggy is either playing against him or, of course, being here in England camp, where he'd been a part of England for a number of years, certainly in my early days. And, he's a great competitive guy. He's really willing to invest in not only young nines, but it's a whole team. And obviously through Saracens, where he's coming from. So he's got a wealth of knowledge to bring to the environment. And I think that we're very lucky to have him. I know that those young lads will, they'll be chomping at the bit to try and get ahead of him or whatever. But, they should be chomping at the bit to get as much knowledge off him as possible. And it's a real opportunity for them to learn, because I do think that he's one of the best architects at controlling a game. So I think it's a fantastic addition for the club. And I'm certainly looking forward to working with Wig.
Finally, mate, obviously he comes in and a couple of other new faces, but those guys that were embedded in the kind of final parts of last season, however that went, things are looking up. I know you're a pretty big kind of confident guy around the positivity that is at the club, but for those, watching, listening, what is it that you're excited about that lays ahead for Tigers?
You've got to look at big picture stuff. Like, you can look all you want at short-term stuff, but if you're playing 3 games in 8 days, you've got to utilise the squad. You can't ask someone to go out there 3 games in a row. Well, you're not allowed to anyway. It's against the regulations. So yes, there was some results that weren't you can say they weren't a reflection, but they were, because that was the scoreline. But probably not a true, gives you a false sort of perspective of where we're at. Now I'm in the environment, obviously not currently, but when I'm not, I'm in the environment every day. And, under Steve and Eddie are the 2 best coaches I've ever had. Hands down, the 2 best coaches I've ever had. Steve is the most diligent, hard-working coach I've ever seen in my life. And he'll be working day and night, and I assure you that, 7 days a week, to make sure that he does everything to get the club back where they need to be. And, the players have a responsibility to do that, and everyone does. And I just think that although this current situation probably doesn't help with the lack of preparation for Gloucester, again, I just think that we'll continue to get better. You're not playing 3 games in 7 days. It's week by week. You can build. You did it. The bits are in place. The team's been strengthened. The team's also had some experience under Steve about how we want to play the game. So, without doubt, I think that it will take time. Of course it does. But it'll be worth it.
I've got to ask, because people will wonder, is that a chair you get if you play 100 tests? Is that how it works? Because that looks a little bit over the top, mate. It's not.
There's actually, if you wait there, I'll show you a different type of chair. Hang on, just wait there.
Just like that Graham Norton show.
This is the chair we should use. Hang on.
This is thrilling TV.
What are we saying about this one, eh?
What is that?
If I knew you were so intrigued about the chair, I would have swapped them earlier, mate.
I wish I had that lever Graham Norton has to send you flying back.
Yeah. Tell me a funny story. If not, I'll lever me.
Don't tell your stories, whatever you do.
No.
Anyway, mate, good luck. Obviously, give Shalva one, and then come up against Nems and give him one when you come through it.
I will do. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, Len.
Cheers, buddy.